And today we are talking about brilliance of Spain, their domination over Italy, outstanding pressing, and left flank performance where Nico Williams shines. In the central match of probably the entire Euro group stage, Spain narrowly defeated Italy 1-0 and guaranteed themselves a spot in the playoffs and even the first place in their group. While in the previous match, despite a convincing scoreline 3-0, the Spaniards didn't impress with their play. Here, the Red Fury should have scored much more, 24 in shots, 11-3 in shots from inside the box, and 5-0 in clear goal-scoring opportunities. This was an undoubtedly best Spain's match under Luis de la Fuente. Let's dive into what happened. Spain's pressing in this game was really top notch. Italy struggled and hardly attacked under this pressure. Despite a respectable ball possession difference, 57 in favor of Spain, the overwhelming territorial imbalance in striking, 78% on Italians third and 38 to 16 in touches in the opponent's box, all in favor of Spain for sure. This typically resembles a top club facing a league outsider. This was certainly not an international strategy by Spalletti. Firstly, it's entirely out of his style, and secondly, Italy's attempts to play out short even under such fierce pressing and their efforts to organize high pressing themselves indicates Quadrazzura's intention to play proactively in this game. Spain didn't just gain this advantage, they overpowered Italy in important phase of this game plan. The key tool that allowed Spain to achieve this was their high pressing. The pattern hardly differed from previous matches 4-1-3-2 formation where Rodri joins the pressing and defenders boldly step out of the line to sustain it. Different focus areas were also very important for Spain. Traditionally, an opponent's pass to the flank is a pressing trigger. In this zone, Spaniards ramp up intensity and turn everything into individual duels. This time, Spain paid special attentions to Italy's right flank. They heavily concentrated in this zone. In the screenshot, Barella is left free, but Yamal is covering him. Why did Spain choose this zone? Firstly, due to Alessandro Bastoni's unusual and unlikely uncomfortable position. At Inter, he is used to playing further left suited to his dominant foot, but in the national team, he's the central figure in the back three and often has to shift right. Against such intense pressing, this has an impact. Secondly, the pressing minimizes the threat of switches to Federico Chiesa, the most dangerous attacking player in Italian squad. This approach is also easy to understand, and as a result, we observed an interesting scenario. Often, Federico Di Marco was left completely free on the opposite flank. In theory, this setup seems very dangerous because if Italy managed to switch the ball there, it could lead to trouble. However, in practice, such episodes hardly occurred. Spain effectively covered the ball area and Italy couldn't make such switches. More often, Spain regained possession, and in this case, the positives far overweight the potential negatives. Besides excellent pressing, Spain's counter-pressing deserves special mentioning. After losing the ball, all players worked tirelessly and immediately tried to win it back. This element worked so well for Spain that by the second half, Italy was visibly struggling and started gifting the ball to Spain near their own penalty area. Italy struggles with it. Confusion and alternating strategies were unsuccessful. Italy started this match with a pressure model similar to Spain's, using a pressing quintet up front. Barella moved up to the line with Scamacca, while Jorginho remained as a holding midfielder. The problem was a free player in Spain's midfield. There was a configuration that Spain constantly had a free player in a midfield. This could be said about Rodri or Fabian Ruiz, but most often it was Pedri. Barella and Jorginho regularly failed to track him. Here is an example of such a situation. Italy shifted slightly in pressing, and Pellegrini ended up off the line with Scamacca. Barella was supposed to cover Pedri in this episode. Unai Simon plays the ball to Morata, who wins the duel and flicks it to the advancing Pedri. Barella is already behind. This led to a Spanish attack, resulting in a great chance for Nico Williams. Italy tried to fix this problem. One of the options was switching to man marking across the pitch. Here everyone was clearly marked, with Calafiori specially tracking Pedri. This option worked best, and Seaman often resorted long balls, and Spain no longer kept possession as easily. However, Italy didn't consistently switch to man marking and had to say why. It seems the Italians were very of 3 versus 3 situations as the back against Williams, Morata, and Yamal. And this sounds risky, but is it really worse than constant leaving a free player in a midfield and allowing Spain to dominate possession? That's a difficult question. Spain, Spain under Luis de la Fuente became a more wing-oriented team, naturally given the quality of the wingers. To maximize their wingers' strengths, De La Fuente has shifted the team to the somewhat unconventional possession structure with 4-1-5 or kind of that, with two players occupying the wide areas. In terms of space coverage, this structure differs significantly from the mainstreaming and might look odd, but against Italy, we saw how effective it can be. Most of the threat from Spain came from the left flank where Nico Williams and Marc Cucurella operated. In the first half, it seems straightforward. Nico went one-on-one versus Di Lorenzo, easily beat him and created chances. This happened as early as the second minute of the match. The continuing through is the first half, prompting Spalletti to react at halftime, and he brought on Cambiaso to the right flank and moved Chiesa to the left. Andres was to cover Di Lorenzo against Nico Williams, and then Spain's twin flank came into play. Cucurella frequently joined the attacks, creating 2 versus 2 situations, and this setup led to Pedri's chance early in the second half. Cambiaso helps Di Lorenzo against Nico, but Cucurella, noticing the gap, breaks into the box, receives the ball from Nico, and sets up Pedri for a shot. Spain's goal came from a similar situation. Cucurella joined the attack in the same way, but this time Nico decided to dribble past Di Lorenzo again and reached the byline. His cross led to an own goal. Nico Williams not only delivered one of the best individual performances of the Euro, but also had one of the best measures of his still young career. Cucurella's smart and timely ruins only impairs Spain's current flank-oriented play, and it works brilliantly. Spalletti, on the other hand, could have taken this threat more seriously, and Di Lorenzo is very useful in possession, but he's simply not the best defender to neutralize players like Nico Williams. Italy had options on the bench, like Matteo Darmian, who is well versed in the role of a defensive right back. There is no guarantee that Darmian would have managed to contain Nico, but his chances were suddenly much higher than Di Lorenzo's. As for now, that was for sure the brightest team's performance on this Euro. Spain looks strong, and also as for now, in first group matches, they've shown the highest quality. But there is still a question: will they contain the same level? There were many moments when Luis Enrique's Spain was extremely bright, but was unable to pass tough opponent like Morocco or any kind of that style playing teams. We'll see.